They say every war has two fronts, the one on the map and the one in your mind. I only believe that on Hill 52. My name is Ethan Cole, Sergeant, United States Army. 3 tours, 2 commendations, and a silence I've never been able to break when someone asks about that night. The official report states only unidentified enemy contact, no confirmed casualties, operation interrupted due to anomalous conditions. It sounds neat. It's a lie. Our mission was simple. Climb Hill 52, a jagged rise in a barren valley shaped like a clenched fist pointing at the sky. At the top was an old bunker, probably Soviet. Intel suggested someone had reactivated a radio station inside. For 3 nights straight, at exactly 0217, that station broadcasted a series of numbers and names in perfect English. Some names belonged to soldiers, ours, and some of them were already dead. We were 6. Me, Mason, radio operator, Rivera, our sharp-eyed scout, Pike, the joker, Hargrove, a giant who carried a pocket Bible, and Olson, the rookie who still believed war had rules. We began the climb before midnight. The air smelled like rust and stagnant earth. Every few steps the compass needle twitched like north had forgotten its place. Our comms hissed with static, and in Mason's headset, a slow, steady ticking began, like a metronome that didn't belong to any clock. When we reached the bunker's plateau, the world went too quiet. Not the quiet of night, the quiet of something missing. No insects, no wind, no fabric shifting, just nothing. That's when Rivera raised his fist, light, ahead. Inside the bunker's main room, a red lamp pulsed dimly, washing the concrete walls in blood-colored light. Footprints, at least 2 pairs, led in and out. But in the center, the thing that froze me, a hulking radio unit humming, alive. The frequency dial moved on its own like it was breathing. Mason crouched next to it, face pale in the glow. "Sarge, the station's live!" The dial stopped. The red lamp pulsed twice, and then a voice poured out. Not robotic, not foreign, calm, almost fatherly. Transmission 72, Wednesday, 0217. Sergeant Ethan Cole, Specialist Mason Hale, Corporal Rivera Torres, Private Olson Reed, Sergeant Hargrove Allen, Corporal Pike Miller. My stomach dropped. The voice repeated the names again, this time with dates, then with coordinates. The exact coordinates where we stood. Then, future timestamps. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 6 minutes. "Is this a recording?" I asked, clinging to reason. Mason shook his head. "Negative." The dial twitched, the red lamp pulsed like a heartbeat. The voice paused, almost as if it was smiling, and added, "Reception confirmed. You arrived early." Pike laughed nervously. The sound died instantly, swallowed by the bunker. From the corridor to our left, we heard a long scrape, metal against concrete. Rivera's flashlight cut through the dark. Nothing, but the ticking in Mason's headset sped up. Hargrove stepped toward the corridor, Bible stuffed in his vest, finger on the trigger. "Psychological warfare," he muttered. "An echo. Old transmission tricks." Olson pointed up at the ceiling. Carved deep into the concrete was a symbol none of us recognized, a circle slashed by 3 intersecting lines, like an angry, broken target. "Jeff, listen," Mason whispered. The voice on the radio now whispered, "6 men. 5 will leave. 1 already has." Olson turned instinctively toward the entrance, but the path we had climbed was different. 2 trails now. The Nun. Above us, the stars had rearranged themselves like someone had shuffled the sky. I ordered quickly, "Sweep, 2 by 2, fast. Mason, keep recording. If this is a trick, I want proof." That's when every light, the red lamp, the flashlights, even the glowing watch dial snuffed out at once. In the blackness,
The voice came again, not just from the radio, but from behind us, inside the bunker, everywhere at once. 0217, repeating, presence confirmed. And then we heard footsteps. Not ours. Slow, deliberate, rising from deeper in the corridor, toward a door that seconds ago I was sure did not exist.
The footsteps echoed like the corridor stretched for miles, but according to engineering blueprints, Hill 52's bunker only had 3 sections: main chamber, storage, and an emergency exit. No fourth wing, no hidden room. And yet, the sound came from exactly that, a new path carved into concrete. Rivera whispered, eyes locked forward. "There's a door. I swear, there's a door." The flashlight flickered to life for a second. He was right. At the end of the hall stood a rusted metal door, squat and menacing, with a thick hinge and a strange symbol carved above it, the same circle with 3 intersecting lines. Olson muttered, "That wasn't in the briefing, Sarge." "Not on the map either," I said, throat tightening. No record of expansion. But the door was real, breathing dread into the corridor. Then the radio crackled, the calm voice returning. "Opening authorized. 2 minutes." "Authorized by who?" Mason snapped into the mic. "Identify yourself. Call sign, now!" Silence. Then the grinding noise again, metal dragging against concrete, like chains being pulled on the other side of the door. Pike tried to lighten the air. His voice broke halfway through. "Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just old storage. Some animal got trapped. It could be nothing." Hargrove held his rifle tight and whispered like he was preaching to himself. "Animals don't say our names." The steady ticking in Mason's headset cut out, replaced by a chorus of voices, men, women, layered together, reciting our coordinates. Between the numbers, one phrase bled through, over and over. "Come in, come in, come in." Rivera swore the door was closer every time the light flickered, as if the corridor itself was shrinking. I believed him. The space warped, each step out of sync with distance. "Sir, I'm not walking through that," Olson whispered, shaking but defiant. "With all due respect, I'm not going in there. That's not human." The radio hissed. Then, in Olson's exact voice, the words repeated back to us. "With all due respect, I'm not going in there." Our blood ran cold. Same tone, same timing, perfect mimicry. Olson's lips trembled. That's my voice. That's my damn voice." 3 loud knocks slammed against the metal door. Boom, boom, boom. The sound rolled through our chests. Mason pressed his headset tighter, muttering, "It's broadcasting from in there. That door, that's the source." "Then it's propaganda, psychological ops. We seal it, mark coordinates, and—" I didn't finish, because the door creaked open on its own. A breath of cold air spilled out, thick with the smell of damp earth, iron, and disinfectant, like a morgue. Inside, pitch black, except at the far end a faint bluish glow, like static from an old TV. The voices grew sharper, bleeding not just from the radio, but from the walls, the floor, even our helmets. Rivera's beam cut across the chamber. For less than a second, we saw them, rows of morgue drawers lining the walls, old steel, each with a small window of fogged glass. But instead of name tags, each drawer had a plate with names carved into it. The first one I read made my blood turn to ice. Ethan Cole. The radio whispered, dragging out the syllables. "File confirmed. First drawer open." And one of the morgue doors slowly screeched out on its own, leaving a yawning black cavity inside, waiting. The sound of that morgue drawer sliding out echoed louder than gunfire. It didn't just open, it welcomed.
Olson staggered back, rifle shaking. "Sarge, this isn't military. This isn't human. This is wrong. This is so damn wrong." I wanted to agree, wanted to order a retreat, but the names on the plates held me still. Every drawer bore one of our names: Mason Hale, Rivera Torres, Pike Miller, Hargrove Allen, Olson Reed, and me. 6 drawers, 6 names, no extras, no mistakes. Mason's face was pale in the flickering glow. How? How the hell would they know? I've never even been here. The radio cut in again, but this time it wasn't calm. It was childlike, sweet, sing-song. "You've always been here. We only waited for the time." Hargrove broke. "Lies! All lies! This is the devil!" He raised his rifle and fired point blank into the open drawer. The muzzle flash painted the walls white for a heartbeat. Then, silence. When the smoke cleared, the drawer was untouched. No bullet holes, no dent, as if the shots had never happened. And then, all 6 drawers began to rattle. The fogged windows glowed faintly blue from within. Shapes pressed against the glass, clawing, straining. The bunker filled with the rhythmic thud, thud, thud of fists slamming in unison. Rivera's flashlight swept across one of the panes, and there it was, his own face staring back at him, pale, distorted, eyes wide with horror. We realized, one by one, each drawer held a copy of us. Not corpses, not reflections, versions. Dead but alive, mimicking every move we made, only a second behind. Pike whimpered, collapsing against the wall. It's like looking at myself in a coffin. That's not me. That's not me. But his double inside the glass mouthed his words perfectly. Lagging, delayed, a grotesque mirror. Then the voices came again, no longer one, but many. The sound of hundreds whispering together, bleeding out of the radios, the walls, the very air. Presence confirmed, time recorded, living files. With a metallic groan, every single drawer slid open at once. Cold air flooded the chamber, sharp with the stench of chemicals and rot. And inside each cavity, our double stirred. They weren't lying still, they were breathing. Chests rising and falling in perfect sync, eyelids fluttering, and then, one by one, they opened their eyes. Each of us stared into the gaze of ourselves. Eyes milk white, skin waxy, lips curled into an expression that wasn't quite a smile, but wasn't human either. I saw myself sit up slowly inside the drawer, tilting his head with a knowing grin. It was me, but older, colder, already dead. "Jesus Christ," Mason whispered. "They're us! They're us, already dead!" The radio boomed with a new voice, deep, mechanical, final. 6 names, 6 drawers, 5 return, 1 remains. The chamber door slammed shut behind us, sealing us in, and the copies began to climb out. They crawled out of the drawers with impossible grace, not stiff or clumsy like corpses should be, but smooth, fluid, silent. Each of us now had a mirror, pale, milk-eyed, wax-skinned doubles moving toward us in perfect opposition. Pike raised his rifle and screamed, firing into his copy. The bullets passed straight through, clanging into the concrete behind. No wounds. No blood. The double just kept walking, tilting its head, grinning wider. "They don't fall," Rivera shouted. I wanted to say something to steady them, to make this nightmare logical. Maybe gas hallucinations, enemy psyops, anything. But how do you reason with the sight of yourself grinning back like a corpse that knows the punchline? Then one of them spoke. My double. It used my exact voice. Calm, certain. "You, Ethan Cole, you're the one who stays." The lights died again. Blackness swallowed us whole. Our flashlights, the radio lamp, even the faint glow of watch dials, gone, as if light itself had been erased. In that suffocating dark, The sounds multiplied. Gunfire, screams, boots pounding. But louder than everything, laughter. Our laughter. Dozens of versions, mocking us, echoing around the bunker like a stadium of doppelgangers watching us drown. Then, without warning, a blinding flare of light burst from the radio. The frequency needle froze on 0217. At all once, the doubles stopped, frozen mid-step, like mannequins. The voices fell silent. And then the final broadcast came, clear and deliberate, not from the radio, but from everywhere. Transmission complete, record archived, substitution confirmed. The light winked out. For a heartbeat, there was silence. When it returned, my squad stood gasping in the bunker. There were only 5 of them. I saw it. Hargrove, Rivera, Pike, Mason, Olson. Alive, breathing. And then, me. Lying pale and still in the open drawer. Eyes closed, skin cold, dead. The other me, the one standing with my squad, smiled, calm, unshaken, as if he had always been the original. And with quiet finality, he reached forward and closed the drawer on my body. I woke up hours later, dragged out during evacuation. The others swore they found me unconscious on the floor. They claimed there was no double, no other me, just Chuck, they said. But every night, at exactly 0217, when I turn on an old field radio I can't bring myself to throw away, I hear it. That calm voice repeating names, dates, and places, ending with the same line every time. 5 return, 1 remains. Transmission archived. And buried in the static, I sometimes hear my own voice, calling, waiting.